Tokyo Champ time is what we are now doing in this episode. So, more specifically, we've beaten every other challenger in Tokyo, and as a result of us beating Kenichi, who, in my opinion, handed over his ride quite respectfully, in my opinion. We've now officially got the Saiku XS, which, according to the Midnight Club wiki, is based off of an AB Flog Supra S900, which is basically a tuned car variant, I'd assume, of basically the Toyota Supra. In other words, I did just use a Supra, so you'd expect me to understand these things. Anyway, so we've already seen Makoto's cutscene, and now we basically just got to do this little time trial. Hopefully it won't be too hard. Over to you, Gina, once the game loads.
Hey there, jockey, Gina here. Before Makoto will even race you, you're gonna have to beat his time trial.
Okay, so I know where to go from here. Oh, okay. Okay, so... Right, so I'm heading over there. I know precisely where the checkpoint is, and already hitting a taxi in the process, and I'm already noticing just how quick this car really is, even though this is the first time I'm officially driving it. So, oh, and there's a cop there. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. The jumper's on the other side. Yeah, that's my mistake. Okay. Gotta make sure I don't miss this. Okay, got it. Okay, so... swerving my car in this direction because this is the best route to take. I now know precisely where it is I need to go. I also know precisely when to not waste my nitrous. And... oh, can I hit 200? Not quite. But that's okay because I know this is... okay, on the brakes. That did not go the way I was wanting it to. But that's okay because I think I know where it is I need to go now. Ooh, okay. Made it. It's okay, everything's fine. I'm still going. Fuck you. I'm also going to keep a hold of my nitrous until I really need it. I'm definitely going to hit 200 this time, yep. I think I hit 205. That was probably my maximum speed down that stretch. At least I think that's what it was. Anyway. We are moving forwards. And this time, I am not going to waste my nitrous. Also, quite surprisingly, there's no cops out here. Okay, so Really gotta hit my marks here, don't want to miss this. Really gotta make sure I go for this one. Okay. Using my nitrous, I make it to the other side, and I flip in the process. But that's okay because I'm very close to the finish anyway, and... Oh, still hitting the wall. But it's fine. But it's fine because... the time trial was pretty easy anyway. Okay, well... that's one race down, so let's now move on to the other race.
Too much shame. Come on, again.
I've also established this race is probably not going to be too hard for me to beat.
I squash people like you.
But I'd imagine it's not going to be too easy either. Especially because it's raining. And if you've been watching this long enough, you'll already know just how much chaos there is in Tokyo. And this, I would imagine, is going to be another one of those cases.
It's because I trained with the best. I am the champion.
I am the challenger.
I'm going to pass you.
Of course you are.
You are no match.
I only wonder why it took you that long to pass me. If there's anything for me to ask, when you should have done it earlier. But for whatever reason didn't.
It's because I trained with the best.
I think whichever one of us has the least amount of carnage at this point is basically going to be the winner. That's what I think it's going to come down to, because it just feels like at this stage I'm just having more and more opportunities to die rather than to race. And as I said before, that is for obvious reasons. Oh, someone actually pushed me up into the lead for once.
You idiot.
I gotta say, that's actually pretty amazing. To think that someone literally pushed me up into the lead. Using my boost.
Being big shot, huh?
And gonna ease off the throttle. Oh, I hit 204 on landing. Whilst I was in mid-air. I hit 204 in terms of top speed. That's interesting. Anyway. Staying with it. And maybe if it's possible, I might be a contender this time. Maybe. But only time will tell. Probably could have been a shortcut I could have taken there, but was I prepared to risk it? No. And the other reason I wasn't prepared to risk it is because it wouldn't have got me out in the lead anyway. That among many other reasons why I chose not to risk it. I could not see where the wall was there. And right now, I'm just trying to be conservative for this part of the course. Okay. apparently Slow and Steady does seem to be winning the race at the moment, because I've actually got a pretty sizable advantage at the moment. I narrowly avoided hitting that truck. So glad to say I did, because if I didn't, then, well, there would be a lot more damage on this thing.
You have 2 milli left.
Okay, well, anyway. Still keeping with it.
You like that bagger?
Maybe if it's possible I might actually have a shot at this thing now. Okay, going down this alleyway. It's absolutely necessary for me to take that.
Your life has
And
been yours.
I could enter the mall, but I'm not going to, because if I do, then, well, I think the escalator will put me in a very awkward spot. So that's one opportunity I'm not going to risk. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, on the brakes, making sure I don't miss this exit, and I'm immediately turning to the left.
Traffic is ready in Tokyo.
This is the best direction I could take, and now I've lost it. Or it feels like I've lost it. Okay, now I've lost it. Oh, hold on, never mind.
But a bit all over.
Finally. That literally took me an hour to get up to this point. And Makoto finished in third. So apparently there might be... I did improve on the jump, and as a result, I beat Daisuke by less than a second. Okay, well, anyway. I don't think the 6th placed guy is making it to the line. I'm going to assume he probably damaged out when he basically fell in the drink. In other words, he basically fell into the river, so I'm assuming he must have DNF'd. So these are the race results. I won by 7/10 over Daisuke, then it was Makoto, who finished 4.2 seconds behind me, then it was Aihara in 5th, and it was Kobata, who finished in 5th and presumably last because, well, the 6th placed car, I would assume, has likely damaged out. I'm also going to get a replay whilst I'm here. I'm pretty sure there were 6 of us in this race, but one of us must have fell in the drink. In other words, one of us basically drowned and damaged out, or just simply died. Also, that race would have been easier if it weren't for all the traffic in between just literally doing whatever it damn well took to make sure that we all died at least once. But either way, I am glad to say I didn't switch over to the night, because if I did, then, well, chances are I would not have been satisfied with my efforts, but I am glad to say I didn't need to. Also kind of wall riding there, so in case if anything did decide to show up, I'd at least be ready for it. I'm also amazed to say that I actually won this race, because I'm pretty sure if it weren't for Daisuke's last minute error, then I would basically still be struggling with this for at least, I'd say about probably the next half an hour. But I am glad to say I got this race said and done when I did. Because if I didn't, then well... To put it simply, I would be pretty pissed. And I know I've said that multiple times already, but... it is at least good to know that if you can manage to eliminate some of the errors that will basically plague your efforts, then you will be able to come out of it with a reasonable record. And I am glad to say that time around I did manage to achieve what I came here to achieve. I think I'll give this a few more seconds and then that'll basically do it. It probably also helped when I was conservative in this part of the race, as in I was basically just taking it steady, and it did actually give me an advantage as a result, which is what I like. Okay, I think that's gonna do it, so... got enough footage there for a thumbnail, so let's now move on to our third cutscene with Makoto, and also be introduced to the world champion, Savo.
The shame is almost unbearable. Take the car. You think you're real clever, I imagine.
Not really, Makoto. I just think of myself to be lucky a lot of the time. Anyway, this is the world champion, and we'll be doing him next.
A new challenger. My pathetic existence. It has come to this. Okay, you, race me then.
So this is the world champion. Of course, we are not going to be racing him right now because, well, I've obviously got to keep showcasing my progress for obvious reasons. So this is the car that we win from Makoto. It's called the Torque JX, and as you can see, it is quite clearly based off of a Nissan Skyline GTR BNR R34. Let me just say that again. This car is very clearly based off of a Nissan Skyline GTR BNR R34. Suspension by Intrax. Okay. So that's the car we win from Makoto, and we are now 79.4% complete with this game, which means the other 20.6% is probably with those 6 races we now have to do with Savo. So, the world champion is all that's left, and we will be facing him in the next episode of Midnight Club 2.